Welcome back to Her Rules Radio. I'm Alex Jameson, your hostess, your life coach, health and success mentor. And here at Her Rules Radio, we are all about helping you to live life by your own rules, to find your path forward, to help you create the life that feels really delicious to you, and to help more and more women to leave our legacy. So, in the last month, I have had the honor, the privilege, the joy to lead a couple of private retreats. One was for 4 women, and this retreat was called the Unapologetic Creative. And all of these 4 women came to New York City for 2 days. They took time out of their busy lives. 3 out of the 4 are moms to 2 kids, each a piece, and they all are entrepreneurs. So taking time out of their busy schedules was, no small thing. I get that. They came to New York City because each of them wanted to get really clear about what they wanted to create next. See, all of them have created, in some way, successful businesses. They're all very educated. They're all really driven. They're all really heart-centered. Like, they have created businesses and programs in the past that are really heart-centered. They want to do good in the world. But there have been these itchy moments for all of them where they're feeling in their life like what they're doing to make money while it's going well is not really serving their deepest passions and desires. And it was starting to become a problem for all of them. It was starting to get uncomfortable. It was starting to feel like, I'm just going through the motions. And it's tough to acknowledge that, especially when you are pretty successful in what you're already doing. And I can really, really relate. I've been there. The first part of my career was as a vegan chef and health coach. And I wrote 3 books I published 3 actual real books with real publishers, books about vegan cooking and vegan living. And as you may know, after being vegan for over a decade, I got really sick. I had to start eating meat, and I finally kind of went public with my truth that, look, the diet that healed me is no longer the diet that will sustain me. It was causing huge hormonal problems, thyroid issues, adrenal fatigue, and chronic anemia. So changing my diet and then coming out to my community was a huge shift. I thought, I am about to implode my entire business model, my entire business plan. And that can be really, really hard to do. So I lost half of my newsletter subscribers. I was roasted online, thousands of comments, thousands of shares. I got a lot of emails, including some actual death threats via email. Yes, I know. It sounds insane, but this topic is very passionate for a lot of people. And so I understand the women who came to my retreat because there is a deep fear. There's a real visceral fear that if we make a mistake in public view, or that if we change course, if we change direction from the way we've been doing things, our businesses, our livelihoods, if we change anything and people don't like it, it feels death-defying. Death-defying changes. That's how it feels. So it can be terrifying, petrifying. We can get stopped in our tracks from making changes. So as an example, one woman has a very successful marketing, copywriting, branding business. And she's a young woman who has made a very successful career out of this. And it's not serving her soul anymore. She's feeling trapped, stuck, overwhelmed. Stuck is not a word. She's feeling stuck and overwhelmed. She's feeling run down. It's starting to affect her health, her sleep, etc. These things can lead to emotional eating big time. It can cause us to self-medicate in a lot of different ways. So she said, look, I know I need to do something. I need to get clear about what's not working for me so that I can make space for what I know or I suspect I want to do next. And her next project, part of her legacy that she wants to leave on this earth in this lifetime, is totally different from what she's doing now. So by coming to this retreat with me and the other women, she was able to make space and see how she is, she hasn't been managing her time well enough to create the space so that she can really get into the creative zone for what she sees as her real legacy move, what's coming next. And how she needed to create new boundaries with her clients, in her life, in her work life, in her day. We talked a lot about boundaries, how we had to get clear about what we want to create, what's next for us, and then what boundaries we need to get clear about and communicate to the people in our lives so that we protect this building, this creation that we need to spend our precious energy and time and resources on. So a lot of the other ideas and concerns that came up were, the fear of making mistakes in public, like I said, right? The fear of stepping out with something new and screwing it up and having people see. We talked a lot about that. We talked about this idea that every single woman had, and you might resonate with, which is, I'm afraid that people or my friends or my colleagues or my family are going to think, who does she think she is? This is a big conversation. I had Southern parents, and the idea that I absorbed was, don't be too big for your britches, or who do you think you are, or she thinks she's all that. Same idea. Like if we step out and we decide, well, instead of doing, this kind of work, I want to create this kind of thing, or I want to be a financial coach instead of doing this kind of thing that I've been doing for years. Our fear is that people are going to say, who does she think she is? And that is a real fear. I don't want to downplay that because it's really foundational for us humans. We are hyper social creatures. That means that, right, this goes to my love of Game of Thrones. This really speaks to the idea, like, when the winter comes, the pack survives, the lone wolf dies. Human beings are meant to be in community. And if we were cut out or shunned from our community, our family group, our tribe, that meant death. Almost certain death. We need each other. And even though it's easier to live alone now logistically than ever it has been in human history, we still need other people, right? That's the basis of positive psychology, that other people matter to our life, to our well-being, to our thrivingness. So this idea that people I love or respect or my potential client base might think, who does she think she is? Or she's too big for her britches, or she thinks she's all that, is actually really, really scary for us. So I want to underline how important that idea is. And I have seen for myself, for my clients over and over again throughout the years, that when we endeavor to put our truth out there, whether it's a new kind of coaching that you want to offer, or whether it's changing career paths completely, or whether it's like, yeah, I'm still a real estate agent and I'm writing some fiction novels, right? Whatever it is, you have to put it out there and believe that it will find its people. You have to put it out there and believe in it so much yourself that even if no one shows up to applaud you at first, which, by the way, they will. They absolutely will. They always do. People always find you. And you'll be surprised at how many people will show up to support you. But even if they don't, it really has to be a leap of faith. You have to believe in the work so much. You have to believe in it You've got to take that risk. And here's what I want to say about that. Like, if you have this passion in you to create something new, to put out some legacy move of your own into this world while you're still here, if this desire is in you, then that is reason enough to pursue it. Don't think about it too much. Really, like, pursue this passion, pursue this desire. It's that important. There's so many people in this life who changed their careers midlife, or they were told that they couldn't do it, right? Like Oprah was fired from her first journalist job. Grandma Moses, the artist, didn't sell her first paintings until she was in her 80s. There's so many stories like that. Julia Child didn't start cooking. She didn't publish her first cookbook until she was in her 40s. Right? So there are so many examples of people who finally put their stuff out there, or they pursued their vision with such passion that they never gave up on themselves. I want you to hear me as I say this. Like, that's why it's so important for you to be passionate about your legacy move, to be passionate about your art or your creativity, because there will be times when it seems like nobody's paying attention. For sure. I've been there, right? You'll put something out, you'll launch something, you'll publish something, you'll hit send, and you're like, crickets, no one is paying attention. So you have to choose something that you're so passionate about that you don't give up on yourself. So this is all to say that your creative desires, the things that you want to create in this life, they matter. And that's what I love doing. I love supporting people. I love helping women especially to get clear about what it is that they're wanting to bring forth into this life. Because we need your ideas. We need creative expression. We truly do. We need new ideas and new ways of thinking to help get us out of this mess of troubles that we are in as a species. And I've seen this happen over and over again, when you get clear about who you are, when you dig down and erase the BS, the veils of cultural shame that have been laid on you from birth. Once you get rid of that stuff and you're clear about who you are and what you love and your best strengths and how to bring them into the world, it aligns everything in your life, right? Relationships fall away that are not meant to be there. Toxic relationships are easier to step away from. Taking care of yourself nutritionally, emotionally, spiritually, physically becomes so much easier because you want to show up and be the best that you can be more often. I love this Albert Einstein quote. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Oh, I love that so much. And it is my supreme joy to help you awaken your creative expression and knowledge. And I'd like to offer that to you now. So I want you to head on over to herrulesradio.com and check out my blog and look for the Rich Creatrix immersions. These are special coaching programs that I'm offering. These are one-on-one deep dives. You get me for a good 3 weeks to 2 months of solid support to help you catapult yourself to that next stage, to bring that legacy move into your life so that your daily life, your self-care, how you eat, what you're doing, what you're putting out there, your clarity of your vision, and then promoting and marketing and selling all of that stuff that you want to put in the world, it can happen so much faster than you think when you really dedicate yourself to it. So go on over to Her Rules Radio, check out the blog, and look for the Rich Creatrix offerings. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up over on Instagram at DeliciousAlex. I hope this was inspiring to you. I thank you for showing up and being here for you and listening to stuff that helps you live life by your own rules. We'll see you back here next week. Mwah.